Whales are peaceful and majestic animals that swim gracefully through the oceans. But there is one species of giant whale that is so iconic and different from its cousins that it was even the protagonist of a book. We're going to talk about them today. But first, don't forget to subscribe. If you still haven't left a like, a comment, this is your opportunity. If you're really part of the community, put in the comments hashtag I am part of the Curious Gang and tag along, because I'm Tiago Tadeo and welcome to the Upside Down. Of all the whales in the world, a few are as strange as sperm whales. Unlike other animals that we recognize as part of the species, sperm whales are whales that not only have teeth but are also considered the largest toothed animals on planet Earth. This is no small feat for an animal that typically reaches more than 10 meters in height, or better yet, length, because it means their teeth are immense in the same way. It's a whale alright family, so everything about it is massive. The most interesting thing about them is the size of their brains, which is literally the largest of any animal in the world, and weighs up to 5 times the weight of a human brain. All this in an animal that lives an average of 70 years of age under normal conditions. While whales and other cetaceans normally move in groups to defend themselves or hunt together, sperm whales are typically solitary animals, or at least their males are. While males come of age and leave their groups, preferring to live in isolation until they need to reproduce, female whales create very tight communities between themselves and their calves. They create such powerful relationships with each other that they can communicate across long distances through clicks that sound like voices. You know when you can tell one friend from another by a voice or by the way they talk? Well, sperm whales not only do that, but they can differentiate the accurately, even when the distances are immense. Strange whales even sleep strangely, guys, preferring to stay upright as they were sleeping standing up. They prefer to do this in groups, since they are the greatest moments of safety, and unlike what is expected of an animal of this size, they do not sleep in the depths, preferring to take a nap relatively close to the surface of the water. It is an animal that weighs tons and doesn't wake up with any minute noise, but they are so close to the surface of the water that there are reports of boats hitting or bumping them while the animals are asleep. This is what happened to a boat in Chile that allegedly sailed over to a group of sleeping sperm whales who woke up only when the boat was already on top of them. Of course, he woke them up by accident, but the important thing is that there is an experience that was beyond surreal. But it is obvious that the most striking part of these animals are their numerous teeth. As I said at the beginning, sperm whales don't devour a legion of krill at once, so they need to hunt, and that's where perhaps their reputation as a more aggressive whale than the others, being an animal capable of diving up to 2,000 meters, making it the third mammal capable of diving deeper in the world. The sperm whale has a huge pick of animals to hunt, but what they prefer are squids. Female sperm whales can be so hungry that they reportedly eat up to 600 squids a day. The males, a little less hungry, eat only about 300 squids. And these aren't just small, tiny squids either, since because of their size, sperm whales actually prefer the larger ones, because obviously it's a matter of logic. The larger the squid you have, the less they'll have to hunt. And how to find these big squids? Well, the giants are rarer, so of course they have to go to immense depths to find them. Obviously, it's not a free lunch, and the bigger the prey, the bigger the fight. The difficulty between the sperm whale and the squid. And this is an animal that is used to fighting, you see. Not only with their distant cousins like the megalodons, with whom they shared waters and were constantly in combat according to some fossil records, but they also came into conflict with humans. And our relationship with these giants is very peculiar, guys. Everyone knows that the most famous whale in the world is Moby Dick, the quasi-mythological creature from Melville's epic. Moby Dick was a sperm whale, and the book takes place a few years after a commotion that basically moved a part of the European economy during the 18th and 19th centuries: the whale hunts. Whalers who normally hunted whales in a controlled way discovered a foreign material inside their heads that they named spermaceti, as they thought it had some reproductive value for the animal. However, they soon took notice that when used on several candles, the material from the sperm whales did not emit smoke, unlike other oils and materials used. So hey, the crowd thought, if this doesn't make smoke and I can make fire, I can do something different with it, right? And then, a relentless search for this material began, where whales were hunted in high demand. This was the whale oil age of humanity, where lanterns, streetlights, and even lighthouses were maintained by the power of the substance from the bodies of sperm whales. Other than that specific use, no one quite knows what the purpose of this strange oil in their head is. Some believe they regulate the animals while they are floating. Others believe it is a way of absorbing the shock in order to protect the brain during the period when the males hit their heads. Well, it's all just theories, okay? The demand was so immense that an estimated 236,000 sperm whales died during the 18th century alone. The species was almost driven to extinction, and of course, with its numbers dropping, profits dwindled. Predatory hunting brought total chaos to Europe. The price of everything increased, and the animals almost went extinct. If it weren't for the discovery of the use of kerosene as an alternative method of energy source, well, sperm whales would probably not exist anymore, and would not be able to regain their initial populations. Kerosene was also cheaper and easier to maintain, which helped the giant mammals resume the cycle. Another relationship with humans, and that is also a bit macabre, is the fact that sperm whales, when unfortunately found dead on beaches or other places, tend to explode. The gases that are released inside the animal's body during the decomposition process build up, and eventually reach critical levels before finally bursting the animal's skin and carcass. It's a shower of strange things, a very tense thing to witness, which means that if you see a dead whale floating on the bench or maybe the coast, it's not a good idea to get close, okay? Because things can get complicated there. Well guys, you know that the sperm whale was one of the animals. The sperm whale of long ago, that is, that faced a certain ease the megalodons. But here comes one thing. Did they have an enemy? Was there ever a time far, far, far back, a natural predator in much larger versions than those we have today? If you want a video focused on that, put it here in the comments. I want it, so I can prepare a video for you guys, okay? See you in the next video then. Be well, and until next time, peace.